Welcome to the Red and Gold Report, your best source for Chiefs news. On this episode, we're going to be previewing the Chiefs' upcoming Week 2 matchup against the Ravens, including the matchups that you should be watching during the game, including some of the injuries that might affect the game, and more. And hey, as we get going, if you want your Chiefs news brought to you by a guy who still says, "Go Chiefs," to everyone with a Chiefs shirt on in the grocery store and gas station, like a crazy person, then you gotta subscribe to this channel. The Chiefs are gonna face the Ravens in Baltimore on Sunday Night Football this weekend. I love Sunday Night Football. I'm so excited the Chiefs are gonna be on. The Chiefs are coming off a last-second victory against the Browns, while the Ravens are coming off a last-second stunning surprise loss against the hapless Raiders. Now, this is an exciting game. It features two of the league's top quarterbacks, both MVPs, 2019 league MVP Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, and the 2018 league MVP Patrick Mahomes. The game also features two of the league's standout coaches. John Harbaugh of the Ravens is the NFL's fourth longest tenured coach, and the Chiefs' Andy Reid is the league's sixth longest tenured coach. And of course, both have won Super Bowls. What's also interesting about this game is all of the former Chiefs and Ravens on the other one's team. Former Chiefs that are now a part of the Ravens include receiver Sammy Watkins, edge defender Justin Houston, and corner Marcus Peters, although Peters is actually hurt for this season. And of course, on the other side of the ball, the Ravens and Chiefs pulled off that huge, big trade of the offseason where the Chiefs sent over a first-round pick to the Ravens in exchange for starting left tackle Orlando Brown. So these two teams, they're pretty familiar with one another. Let's talk mismatches to watch. Now, the Chiefs have a big mismatch in their favor. I really think they do. The Chiefs receivers, led by Hill and Kelsey, are probably the league's best, but the Ravens defensive backs, they're struggling. Former Chief Marcus Peters is a starting corner for the Ravens, but he's actually out for the year with a torn ACL. Yes, the other corner, Marlon Humphrey, is a good one, but after him, all of the corners and safeties for the Ravens really struggled last week against the Raiders. They struggled last week. They made the Raiders receivers look like all pros. So look for the Chiefs passing attack to be a big mismatch against a hobbled Ravens secondary. But on the other side, the Ravens' Lamar Jackson is a scary matchup against the Chiefs' linebacker group. Lamar is the best running quarterback in the league, and he led the Ravens last week with 86 yards on the ground. He's a great rusher. That puts a lot of pressure on our linebackers. To add to that, the Ravens' best receiver is actually their tight end, Mark Andrews, who just inked a $56 million deal. Yes, back up the Brinks truck. He is good. I guess he better be good actually for that much cash. But he's going to put a lot of pressure on our linebackers in the middle of the field in the passing game. And the Chiefs linebackers, they struggled in week 1, with starter Anthony Hitchens receiving a grade of 28 from Pro Football Focus, and our other starter Willie Gay is out for a few weeks with an injury. It does look like a mismatch in the middle of the field in the Ravens' favor, both in the passing game and with Lamar running. Let's talk other players to watch. A player to watch for the Chiefs is definitely left tackle Orlando Brown. Now, Brown actually demanded a trade out of Baltimore in the offseason, but he only played okay in week 1 for the Chiefs. So look for him to be all fired up and have this big bounce back game against his old team that he demanded the trade away from this week. Another player to watch is the Ravens' right tackle, Alejandro Villanueva. After coming over from Pittsburgh in the offseason, Villanueva looked like one of those awkward, spinning Christmas trees last week. He had one of the worst games that you're going to see out of a tackle. And if the Chiefs can get Chris Jones isolated against him, yeah, Christmas is going to come early for Kansas City. Another player to keep your eye on is Chiefs rookie offensive center Creed Humphrey. In his first game as a pro, Humphrey allowed 0 sacks, Zero quarterback pressures. Take a few plays just to watch him this week. This Sunday night, just take a few plays and just watch our center. You could be watching a future All-Pro in the making. Another Chief to watch is Chris Jones, of course. The All-Pro had 2 sacks last week, but he was rotating in and out of the game, leaving the Chiefs exposed and vulnerable when he was out of the lineup. Make sure to watch if he's able to stay in for more plays this week. Another player to watch is, of course, Lamar Jackson. Watching the Ravens game against the Raiders on week 1, Lamar, he didn't look like himself to me. It was probably because his offensive line was struggling. Also, his running backs are hurt. Probably also partly because his wide receivers are not dynamic. But I couldn't help but to think that he looked distracted. Jackson has no agent, and he's in the middle of negotiating a new contract, which promises to be historically huge. Doing it by himself. He's doing the negotiations for a multiple $100 million deal by himself and trying to lead his team together through a string of injuries and trying to play the sports world's most difficult position. That is a whole lot of pressure on the shoulders of a 24-year-old man. I like Jackson. I really do. He's a blast to watch, but as a Chiefs fan, I'm hoping he still looks distracted in the upcoming game. Another player to watch is Baltimore fullback Patrick Ricard. The Ravens are one of the last teams to really feature a fullback, and Ricard, he just might be the best in the league. The dude is 311 pounds. Yeah, that's right. A 311-pound man who's making it in the running back room as a fullback. He's a huge guy, and he's interesting to watch. Also, watch the matchup between the Chiefs' offensive line versus the Ravens' defensive line in the run game specifically. I think the Chiefs are going to fare well in pass protection, but the Ravens' defensive line of Derek Wolfe, Brandon Williams, Calais Campbell, they're all huge top-flight run stoppers who are veteran players, so it might be a slow day for the Chiefs in the running attack. Next, let's talk injuries. The Ravens, they've already been decimated by injuries. We're only 1 game into the season. Starting guard Tyre Phillips, starting corner Marcus Peters, first round wide receiver Rashad Bateman, second string receiver Miles Boykin, linebacker LJ Fort, second string tight end Nick Boyle, starting running back J.K. Dobbins, second string running back Gus Edwards, third string running back Justice Hill. All of those guys are already on the injured reserve. It is like the medic tent from if 100 stay-at-home dads tried running the 40-yard dash. Everybody's pulling up with torn ACLs in Baltimore. On the other side, for the Chiefs, we're still monitoring safety Tyrann Mathieu and defensive end Frank Clark. Both were expected to play last week, then didn't before the Chiefs struggled on defense. So it'd be great to get Tyrann Mathieu back for sure, and it looks like we will. There's some guys nicked up that we're expecting to play, like Hardman, Noddy, Edwards-Helaire, Rimmers, Trey Smith, but they should be fine. Which finally brings us to my prediction. Now, I know it's an away game. I know the Ravens are a good team, but I actually think the Chiefs are going to win this one by 14. I know that's bold, but the Ravens, they're really injured. Their defensive backs could get blown up by Kelsey, Hill, and Mahomes. And Lamar Jackson didn't quite look like Lamar Jackson in week 1. So I've got the Chiefs by 14, but what do you think? How much do you think the Chiefs are going to win by? Leave your prediction in the comments below. Thanks for watching the Red and Gold Report. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the bottom of this video on YouTube so you can get weekly updates and news on everything Kansas City Chiefs. Thanks for watching, and go Chiefs!